Alderperson Evans.
Present.
Hurt.
Here.
Barnes. Swanson. Here. Parker.
Here.
Poulos.
Here.
Healy.
Here.
And Mayor Harris.
Thank you. Agenda item 5.
Vote to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second, any discussion? Yes, yes, yes. Let me see what Okay, I would ask for a motion to amend the agenda for item 15B, please.
I move to amend the agenda, removing 15B.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Back to the original
Yes.
motion.
Yes. Agenda item 5, please. Oh, excuse me. Is there any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Poulos. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item 6, public comment. Okay. First and only name, Mr. Ty Sher. Yeah, press the button. Button press.
Ah,
All right.
got me there. All right, good afternoon. Thank you all for having me. My name is Ty Scher. I'm the Vice President of the Rock Island Grand Prix event. We're an event on Labor Day weekend that you guys have been gracious enough to let us do for 30 straight events now. Here tonight, also with me is our President, Roger Ruthhart, in the back here. She's here tonight because our event's on the agenda for the just the permit approval that we would seek to have the event on Labor Day. I wanted to take a moment to just give you a couple background points about the event, and many of you are familiar with it, I'm sure, but maybe new to some of you as well. So first off, I'm local to the area. I've been a resident of the Quad Cities my whole life, and went to Augustana, so I think a lot of Rock Island have been a part of our event. For about the last 25 years, I was 5 years old in 1992 when it was the first event, but unfortunately wasn't old enough to be a part of organizing the event. Roger here has been with it since day one. Myself had the opportunity to help our team of volunteers organize the event for the last 25 years. But the city is really key to our event. We appreciate the involvement you guys do to help us have the event each year, especially this year. Tom and the Economic Development team, Jack from the Downtown Alliance, have been key to giving us some direction and feedback to help us understand the changing needs of what we're doing. As you guys might imagine, shutting down the streets for Labor Day weekend each year, I'm sure you guys have heard at times some challenges that it creates. We definitely, once you've been doing something for as long as we have, we definitely want to be a proponent of the city and the businesses and residents of the downtown. I'm sure at times we're a disruption, and we understand that. And I think the main message I hope you get out of my comments tonight is that we really want to work with the residents, the downtown businesses, and the city to do anything we can to make it less of a burden for them And, I listen into your guys' meetings each month, and you guys are met with a lot of challenges. But we think our event has the opportunity to continue to be a bright spot for Rock Island. You guys, I've heard some of the struggles you guys have dealt with unhoused people here in the last several months, and see the strides you guys have made. I think this should be something that you guys take pride in as a city, and we take pride in it as it's our event, but we want Rock Island to be proud of it too. It's been around for a long time, and kind of the next couple points I want to finish on here are really just about letting you guys understand some of the economic impact and also some of the prestige the event has that, Rock Island should really take credit for. Our event's been fortunate to have its 30th event this past year in 2025, and we've housed the event itself in the racing world, which kind of, the kart racing that we do here in Rock Island is kind of a foundational level. It's like the Little League Baseball of the major leagues being like NASCAR and F1. It's the Little League Baseball of that ladder cycle. And when I think about what we've done here in Rock Island over the last several decades, the prestige of this event is kind of in this level of racing. It's equivalent to the Indy 500 or Daytona 500. It's the Super Bowl of events for this type of equipment. So, you guys have that right here in our backyard, just a few blocks away, and it's definitely something that Rock Island should be proud of. We've housed, numerous NASCAR drivers, current Indy drivers, F1 drivers. A lot of their team members have raced here. We've even had one of the actors from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air race in the event in the past. So there's been a lot of celebrity involvement and attendance here in Rock Island. On the economic side, we estimate economic impact to the Rock Island area of about $2 million per year. Our friends at the Visit Quad Cities do some tracking to keep that accurate for us. So roughly, over the course of the event, that's about $45 million of economic impact. So again, we're here to just to put a face to the name. We're on the agenda to get approval, and we appreciate your guys' help, and help we've seen from the city to date, and other downtown businesses are definitely critical to us. So look forward to any input you guys have for us, anything we can do better or should consider. We're definitely here to be engaged. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Agenda item 7, update Rock Island. Update Rock Island. Rock Island Arsenal Lecture Series. Learn more about our nation's history at the Rock Island Public Library this Wednesday, March 11th at 2 p.m. This year's lecture series focuses on American independence, from the colonial era to the writing of the Constitution. This month, the topic is the French and Indian War and its importance to the future of the United States. All lectures in this series are presented at the Downtown Library Branch by a member of the Army Sustainment Command Office of the Historian. Get your green on. The annual St. Patrick's Society Parade is this Saturday, March 14th. It's the only bi-state St. Patrick's Day parade in the nation. The parade begins at 11:30 a.m. at the corner of 4th Avenue and 23rd Street, downtown Rock Island. Following the parade, head over to Arch Alley for the Shamrock Showcase, featuring pop-up shops from the Blue Collar Bagels, Flattery's Irish Candy Company, Painted Dragon Face Painting, and more. From authentic Irish fare and festival drinks to specials to live music, hands-on crafts, and leprechaun photo ops. Participating businesses downtown are offering unique ways to celebrate the holiday beyond the parade route. Free tax assistance. With help from volunteers from the United Way of the Quad Cities, the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center is offering free tax services until April 4th on the following days: Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. The services are walk-in only and are on a first-come, first-served basis, with limited spots available. For more information or questions about the program, please call their office directly at 563-355-4310. Thank you. Agenda item 8.
A report from the Parks and Recreation Department and Clerk's Office regarding a highway resolution for the closure of First Avenue between 17th and 20th Streets on Friday, July 3rd, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., along with a rain date of Friday, July 4th, 2026 for the annual Red, White, and Boom fireworks display and concert at Schwiebert Riverfront Park.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item B.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding a revised motor fuel tax resolution for bulk rock salt in the amount of $190,578.58.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item C.
An ordinance amending Chapter 16, Article 2, Section 16-37, adjustment of water utility charges of the Code of Ordinances, second reading.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item D.
An ordinance approving the 2026 amendment to remove parcels from the North 11th Street TIF redevelopment project area, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item E.
An ordinance approving the tax increment financing redevelopment plan and project for the North Rock Island Port District TIF, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item F.
An ordinance designating the North Rock Island Port District TIF, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item G.
An ordinance adopting tax increment financing for the North Rock Island Port District TIF, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item H.
An ordinance providing for the purchase of real estate at 1031 10th Avenue, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item I.
An ordinance amending Chapter 13, Article 3, Section 13-55 of the Code of Ordinances to update the standards for the installation and replacement of water service lines, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item K. Oh, excuse me.
An ordinance authorizing a loan agreement to borrow funds from the Water Pollution Control Loan Program for the Southwest Treatment Plant Influent Pumping Station Replacement Project in the amount of $4.5 million, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item K.
An ordinance amending Chapter 6, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances to adopt the 2021 International Fire Code, second reading.
Motion to pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item 9.
A report from the Economic Development Department regarding a development agreement with Troy Green, first reading.
Move to approve the agreement, authorize the city manager to execute the document subject to minor attorney modifications, consider, suspend, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate to the public and staff that while I made a motion to approve this development agreement, it's my understanding that we are still deliberating an incentive policy. It's been a subject that's been brought up the past several months related to a number of development agreements that we've approved that have been questioned, shall I say, by the public. This is a very small project, and I presume any sort of policy that we pass will have a threshold. I don't think we're going to want a policy that affects every single project that we approve. So this is small, probably would not be within the scope of the policy anyway, but I remain committed to securing an incentive policy for development agreements moving forward.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Aye. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item B.
Report from the Community Development Department regarding an ordinance amendment establishing permit extension procedures, first reading.
Motion to consider the ordinance.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Aye. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item C.
Report from the Community Development Department regarding an ordinance amendment establishing a fixed annual rental registration date, first reading.
Motion to consider the ordinance. Second.
It's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
I'm licensed. My business is licensed by this process. Do I need to recuse myself?
Yes, you should.
I need to recuse myself from this vote.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Pulis. Aye. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item D.
Report from the Community Development Department regarding an ordinance providing for a change in zoning at the Sunset South site from C2 to I1, first reading.
Motion to deny the change in zoning from C2 to I1 and consider the ordinance. Motion to refer the ordinance back to the Planning and Zoning Commission for further review.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Randy.
Can I have Tom come up and, I got a couple questions here. So, just so that everyone is aware, I was made aware today that I asked the question about, is there, we've talked about what this would be used for and potential, and, this property is owned by two different entities and not the city. And the grant that you're trying to obtain is a $150,000 federal grant, which would cover site survey costs. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay. My problem is that I was just made aware today that there's a match that's going to be required from the city in approximately 20%. And this is the first I have heard of this, and speaking with other council people, it's the first they have heard of this. And I felt like that potentially could be a $30,000 ask of the city for the match. I personally wish this information would have been kind of outlined long ago, and I feel like we've been down this road before with other issues. And so a little bit disappointed in the fact that just finding out about this today. So, and for that reason, this is why I'm voting no. I just want to clarify that that's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If I could
Can I-
add something to that. The rezoning, we would recommend it whether we were gonna get the grant or not, really, because it's part of making a site more marketable. If somebody were to come in and wanna buy this site, we still need the rezoning.
While I understand what you're saying, to me, that property, the people that would benefit from that, because if that land were to sell by either Langman or the other company, since it's their property, they would get the benefit of the land sale, but would the city recoup their potentially $30,000 that was given as far as a grant match. I mean, I know it's $30,000, but you know, we're in a tight budget. I know these things would come up before, and again, a little bit frustrated. We're just now finding out about this today, and so I get it. I understand site readiness and all that, but I don't know how my colleagues feel about that. I mean, I guess I would like to hear from you guys during this discussion.
Do we have any money budgeted for these types of grant matches?
Staff would point out that the council just did approve the new Port District TIF. These sites are entirely within that TIF. $30,000 ported from, say, the North 11th Street TIF into this TIF could be used as that match. That would be the maximum required. So we do not know at this time the total amount of a grant that could potentially be secured, nor do we know the true scope of work and the associated cost. So $30,000 would be the maximum conceivable match, but even if that was the case, that would be easy to cover.
I'm going to make a motion. I was confused by I'm going to make a motion to amend your motion. I was confused by it. It sounded like you both denied the motion and referred it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to amend your motion by removing the denial of the motion and just letting it be referred back to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So we're not having two actions, we're just having the one, kicking it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Yes, I wish that would have been separated out anyway, and so it was kind of confusing even for me to read that, so that was confusing for me to read that as well, so I'm okay with that.
So is that a second, Randy?
Yes.
Okay,
Vote on the motion to amend.
okay, so, okay.
Can we speak on that or not?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. So I guess in kicking that back, would there be a way to look at potentially down the line if the property was sold, the city recouping any monies that were spent from the sale of that? Because we're giving them the up to the match of $30,000. But if they sell it in 8 years, could you put a provision in the sale that would be recouped or had to return to the city? Is that possible?
I believe that's reasonable.
Is that fair?
It is, but the end game for the city is to really see the property develop. I mean, if you had a building worth $1 million, recoup that was built on that property, you recoup the $30,000 right away, plus all the jobs created in the community. I mean, that's a payoff for the city. That's why we would invest $30,000 in it, to potentially get millions of dollars worth of building development on the property, and, you know, potentially hundreds of jobs that could follow later. That's the end game for the city. Sure, the private property owner benefits, but we don't own property for the most part. I mean, the private property owner is all going to benefit through all of our economic development efforts.
That absolutely makes sense, Todd. I think one of the main issues here is the fact that, Randy and a few other council persons are just now getting the information. And I do applaud that he does want to take his time making this decision with all available information due to come. So, thank you, Randy. Thank you.
The reason we haven't provided more information about the grant, because this action item really isn't about the grant, other than it's a piece that needs to be done for the grant later. I mean, accepting the grant, funding the things, those are questions that'll come up later.
So there will be a item on an upcoming city council agenda approving applying for the grant, which would include our match. Is that correct?
Well, there'd certainly be council action required to approve the match, but sure, we could put that agenda approve and applying for it.
Yeah, I mean, I just want some action to Alderperson Hurt's point. I want some upcoming action. I think, Todd, you make a good point that there's two issues going on here. There's the zoning, and then there's the grant that we're applying for. So as long as applying for the grant or the match from the city would be coming forward in a separate item for the city council, are we okay with approving the zoning, or do we just want to not, kick this back to the Planning and Zoning Commission for now and sort this out later? What do we want to do?
And I don't think we have to approve applying for the grant, but yes, 100%, when we get the grant, find out what it is, go back to council on approving the match for whatever that amount is, and at that point, seeing if there's any stipulations we want to put.
It would have to, because it's over the threshold anyways for that commitment. So yeah, that would be a separate item in the future. This is just on the zoning.
Any more discussion?
Well, my question remains, we're voting tonight on zoning. We're not voting on approving the local match. The motion is to kick the zoning decision back to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Is that what we want to do tonight, or do we want to approve the zoning change, knowing that the money is a separate issue that we're voting on later?
I'm fine with the zone. I agree we need site-ready properties, I understand that. I mean, I guess I would have liked to have known that potentially $30,000 was coming out as well. I have no clue. So, you know, that's more the frustrating part. I don't know what the Planning and Zoning Commission is going to do in that aspect. They can't really do anything. So they're just really looking at the zoning aspect. So I guess I personally would be in favor of pushing this through and getting the zoning tightened up, and then both the grant portion at the summertime. So that's where I would stand.
Well, I defer to Alderperson Hurt. It was your concern originally, and I don't want to go against that. I was just asking to clarify.
I'm okay with approving the zoning. I'm not okay with the way the other's written out until it gets spelled out a little more.
And the amendments that we're asking for planning and zoning with the criteria of the city getting our money back, is that something that needs to be sent back to them, or that can be decided later as well?
No, so if Alderperson Hurd is okay with approving the zoning, knowing that we're going to vote later on funding the grant application, I will withdraw my amendment motion, because we should change the original motion to approving the zoning change.
Okay, then I'll withdraw my second, and then we're just going to now make an amended we're just going to make a motion. Okay.
Wouldn't you have to pull back his
I
he did.
pulled back mine already.
second on Dylan's motion?
Yes.
The original
Yeah.
would have to go back.
Does someone have to do the second first and then reverse?
I have to remove the second.
Okay. Then I'll remove my first.
So then we'll just start
Now,
first.
yeah,
with
now can we have an original?
Okay.
Agenda item D.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, make a motion to approve the change in zoning from C2 to I1 and consider the ordinance.
I second that. I have a first and second. Is there any discussion?
Good discussion, team. Thank you.
Clerk? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item E.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding an Illinois State Revolving Loan Program loan authorization ordinance for the Mill Street Anaerobic Digester Rehabilitation Project, first reading.
Motion to consider the ordinance?
Second. There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to make an amendment on the dollar amount. I think it's stated as 13 million, and we need to make an amendment up to 15.5.
I'll second Alderperson Swanson's amendment.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Could we have Mike Bartels explain what happened here, just so that everyone knows?
Yeah, so when we got some information from our consultant who's doing the design this morning, I was in the meeting with them, and it did not, the original project cost has increased due to inflation. We were originally working towards this project since 2021. We're now in 2026, obviously, and this project will not be completed until 2029. So we need to account for that inflation. It also did not include a project contingency, so we've added in a project contingency. Hopefully we don't have any cost overruns on the project, but generally there is some. And then it also includes construction management for the consultant to oversee the construction during the construction process. So that's really the reason for the increase in $2.5 million.
appreciate the clarification.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion?
I just would like to make a statement because we steadily have all this development going on in our area. I want to see us be able to move to trying to have some of the people that live in those areas get some of these projects, get on some of these projects. We've got several projects going on in the city right now, and as I drive through, I'm not seeing the balance, and I would just like to see more of the balance.
Point well taken. Well taken. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
So vote on the amendment. Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Okay. So should I ask for discussion on that?
So,
Okay.
yep, so we approved the amendment, now you guys have to actually approve the underlying motion, so approving the ordinance itself.
Okay, we'll just say, agenda item E. Okay. So is there any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans. Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
We got through that, okay. Agenda item F.
Report from the Fire Department regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 8, Article 2, Division 3 of the Code of Ordinances regulating fire alarm systems and false alarms, first reading.
Motion to consider the ordinance with the removal of residential properties.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, can we have Chief Rapp? Or wherever you're at. Yeah, so my question is, I totally understand the false alarms and alarm systems with businesses. My concern is with residences, and I'm sure there's not a ton of residences that have alarms, but sometimes like carbon monoxide will cause an alarm to go off, and if people are looking and don't see a physical fire, they may think that there's nothing going on, but we all know that that could be deadly. So that's the only reason I would like to have residences removed from that, but, still keep it for commercial.
There's no issue with that. The main concern is the commercial alarms.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item 10.
Consent agenda items A through E.
Consent agenda items A through E.
I would like to remove item 10B as a separate motion.
I'll second Alderperson Healy's first motion, so that then you can amend.
I'd like to make an amendment to pull item 10B to a separate vote.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Evans. Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
So we then,
I just need a
okay,
motion
okay,
A, C, D, and E.
Okay. So is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans. Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item 10B.
Purchase cart claims for the period of December 27, 2025 through January 26, 2026 in the amount of $67,732.89.
Motion to approve item 10B?
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. I guess I'll direct this to finance. Nothing other than the fact as I'm looking through the purchase card report, it seems that the department numbers don't match up with things that are, I'll bring up one example, and I'm calling you out. Alderperson Evans, which according to the number, it's Department 111. However, there was a thing to the fire department, and it was under 111. And I did not, and I know there were some purchase card things under the mayor that were under Department 100. and there is no 100. Is this something that's, and I don't know, there could be more, I don't know, those just stuck out. I'm just kind of wondering, is this something in the transition of?
That's exactly what it is. This was the last period that we were using the GEMS numbers, which was the system that we had before this. We hadn't been importing the purchase cards into Tyler using the Tyler chart of accounts. We've been importing it using the GEMS chart of accounts, and there was a little miscommunication between some of the departments. So some of the departments coded their purchase card charges as GEMS, and some coded them as Tyler. So you see both on there, but it should have been Tyler, or I'm sorry, it should have been GEMS, and the cover sheet that you have is for GEMS. But moving forward, this is the last statement that'll happen for. Everything from here forward will be Tyler. So you will see the new, there shouldn't be any confusion.
Okay, so these ones, like, say, such as Alderman Evans, that'll be corrected on his so that has more funds available?
That is correct. We converted them from Tyler to GEMS in
Okay.
order to do the back end work. So yes, it'll be charged to the appropriate account.
Okay. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
And that Department 100 will be corrected too, right? That was a joke, people. Okay. Okay, any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Clueless.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item 11.
Claims A and B.
Motion to allow claims A and B.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
Due to the nature of my employment, I need to recuse myself from this vote.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Clueless. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item C.
Claims C and D.
Motion to allow claims C and D.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Clueless.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item E.
Report from the Community Development and Informational Technology Departments regarding the purchase of Bluebeam software in the amount of $11,199.
Motion to approve the purchase.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Clueless. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item 12.
A, report from the Fire Department regarding a bid from Builder Sales and Service Company for the Central House Man Door Replacement Systems in the amount of $31,400.
Second.
It's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Clueless. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item B.
Report from the Police Department regarding bids for police uniforms and equipment, recommending the bid be awarded to Uniform Den.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? I would like to say something on that one. I know that we have a local, downtown business that also specializes in this type of business. And, I was hoping that, in the future, I know we can't course bids, but at the same time, I wish there was a way that we could develop the little guy to at least be competitive with bids. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm sure between economic development, with all the different programs we have, I'm sure there's tools in our toolbox to address that. Our local business here, they've been fighting, they've been sticking in the downtown area for a long time, and I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but I wish that they would have been able to get this contract. I'm just going to go on record with saying that. So in the future, like I said, we just need to make sure, do our best to make sure that the little person has the chance to be a little bit more competitive. And that's all I have on there. Any more discussion?
I just want to add to that. I know we did end up retrying to give them an opportunity, and I do understand that it was kind of a strain to meet the need, but I'm like the mayor, I would like to see a lot of that still stay in Rock Island. We have people who pay taxes in Rock Island, have been in the business in this area because they've been in that down there, since 83, 84? And I just really wanted to see them get that contract, but I do understand the strain that they was under, and I do agree with the mayor. I would love to have seen other opportunities to help them get that contract, especially also there in my ward as well.
Shoot, they're in all our wards. They're in downtown Rock Island. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Absolutely. The quality on this wouldn't be an issue. It just comes about, just a competitive price. So, yeah, but the quality is nothing to question. Any more discussion?
It can't be 22% different. I mean, that's the thing. I understand where you guys are coming from. I completely agree if it's 5 or 10%, that's 50. 22% is a lot. So.
And like I said, it gives us something to reach for. Ensure businesses can operate better or can be more competitive. So, like I said, things like that's well within our reach, and we're somewhat obligated to help businesses of Rock Island to achieve that. Any more discussion?
I would encourage my colleagues on City Council as we move into our strategic planning process to identify an updated procurement policy for the City of Rock Island as potentially a goal. I share everyone's thoughts here. I've spoken with the Finance Department about this a little bit. They've obviously been very busy with the Tyler transition and everything else going in finance, and so we need to be mindful not to task them with more things to do. However, procurement as a whole, government procurement, is something that we should think through. It's not only local preference, and to what extent, is it 5%, is it 20%, et cetera, but also other policy goals that this council may have, like prioritizing, if it's the same price, environmentally friendly products over not environmentally friendly products. So I think that this is something that maybe we can all work together in our upcoming strategic planning process of prioritizing a procurement policy. There's a lot of Amazon purchases that we approve every single month that our staff are making, which again, price is fine, but perhaps those purchases could be made at M&M or Handy Hardware, for example. So something for us to consider moving forward.
We are working on updating the purchasing policy. We haven't gotten deep into it yet, but both the purchasing policy and the travel policy, and whether or not you want to have a local preference included in that is certainly something that can be talked about at that time. We do, if there is added value to going local, we take that into account, but as Alderman Healy indicated, a big gap is hard to close based just on the preference.
Well, staff, council, we have our work cut out for us. It's more we can do to help our businesses here be competitive. So we have our work cut out for us. We have what do you say, a 20% gap? Well, we got a 20% gap that we need to work on. Over there, Miles and Tom and the rest of the crew. Okay. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item C.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for an automated gate at the Utilities Maintenance Division, recommending the bid be awarded to Fence Peoria, Illinois, in the amount of $25,290.
Motion to award the bid is recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract subject to minor attorney modifications.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Aye. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item D.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for an asphalt trench paver, recommending the bid be awarded to Alta Equipment Company, South Elgin, Illinois, in the amount of $16,340.
Motion to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract subject to minor attorney modification.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item E.
Report from the Human Resources Department regarding a contract with Mercy One Genesis for on-site medical services.
Motion to allow staff to negotiate a contract as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the document subject to minor attorney modifications.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Agenda item F.
Report from the Information Technology Department regarding a contract with MetroNet for phone services.
Motion to waive the formal RFP process outlined in the city's purchasing policy and authorize the city manager to execute the contract subject to minor attorney modifications.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
What is, this just literally popped into my head. What is the status of MetroNet's coverage for the entire city? This has been an issue for a couple of years, or a couple of years back, but there were concerns that MetroNet's promise to provide coverage for all residences in the city was not panning out. What is the, do we know what the situation is?
Not a substantial change to it, although I'll tell you that their current position is consistent with the agreement we have with them. The agreement that we have with them did exclude certain areas in town, and they're obligated to provide service in those areas when they have interest from X number of customers in that area. So I think that's the real way to try to motivate them to expand it, is by showing interest from residents.
I don't necessarily feel comfortable rewarding them with a contract with City Hall when they can't, provide services for all of our residents.
Yeah, I would just stress though that that's the agreement the city made with. They shouldn't have made it at the time. They should have touched Moline, whole city.
Well, the decisions that the city made that were bad, that has everything, I'm not gonna say it has nothing to do with us right now, but it has everything to do with us right now. And if that was bad, we have the power to make correction. I do want to beg the question, the MetroNet, what am I saying? MetroNet, they also made agreement with neighboring cities. How are they doing with their coverage of their whole city? Is Moline and East Moline, are they all covered with MetroNet?
I'm not certain. I do know that their agreement required them to provide coverage for the whole city.
And this is for the underground fibers, am I correct? The underground fibers. So what they're saying is our residents would have to call and request that before they come do it?
That's what the
Just only in certain places in Rock Island?
Yeah.
I'm not cool with that neither.
I'm not either.
None of them.
Yeah, and
No,
there's
no.
been, I recall the previous first ward alderperson expressed frustration that he had a number of residents who had signed up, and yet MetroNet still was not running the infrastructure.
Still not running correctly. I don't think it's over there.
We can somewhat hold MetroNet accountable, but right now, that's not MetroNet's fault. They're going off of what we agreed to. And that's what I'm really disappointed in now. Right now, I'm really disappointed in that. But we can make it right now. So I agree with you.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that we can make it right now, but we could at least, what is the timeliness of this? Is this something that we need to approve now, or could we pause on approving this and potentially use this as leverage to reopen negotiations with MetroNet?
You've taken a risk. The current phone lines that we depend on, I can't explain the technical aspects of it, but later in this year, that's done. We're not gonna have that phone service anymore. Yeah. So, and if you wanna go with one of these other people, I mean, we distributed the prices, it's gonna cost the same money.
What's,
I think our best bet is to go ahead and approve this and bring bring MetroNet in with our phone services here, and then reopen negotiations with MetroNet, because now we're giving them more business, and reopen those negotiations to provide coverage. I believe at the time when we were talking about it, there was a lot of interest from residents in having MetroNet, and MetroNet's policy was, I think they needed people to sign up for it to make it worth their while to put it in. And at the time, in certain areas of the city, there were people who were not interested in signing up for it, because services aren't free. You have to sign up for them. It's a monthly bill. So, I mean, it was, if people wanted it, they were getting it, but if they didn't have the percentage of people who wanted it and were willing to pay for it, then it didn't go in. And that becomes the problem, is if you want to have citywide coverage of it, who pays for it? Does the city pay for it? Because if the residents aren't willing to pay for it and they don't want it, then there's a cost there that somebody has to pay.
In going over what you said, I did talk to, when Moses was the previous alderman, I do know their district manager and talked to him, and it was about 70%. And I believe the figure he gave me was only 17% of the people down in the first ward actually even applied for it. So when he said they had gone door to door and said, would you commit? And I believe the number that Murphy gave me was 17%.
Well, I know with the cost of the other provider is so high now that the option opens up the door, and we've got people that are struggling to pay their bills. And from looking at the discount between them and that, it opens it up and makes it more accountable for everyone. And I just know that there's a concern, and it should be available across the city.
I want it down at the Stern Center, and I just looked. I do not have it. It's not even an option, and I'm in downtown Rock Island. So.
But I think it's worth a discussion, because I believe this hit right around COVID. Because I voted on it and I've only been on for 6 years. So I think it was around COVID where everybody was concerned about prices and budgets and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, the other providers have increased significantly. So it may be a time to revisit our contract with MetroNet and see, can we reopen it? Can we renegotiate it? And there's probably a higher percentage of people who want it now.
Sure.
Yeah, they had indicated, I think the email from Rob said a 70% price increase about, and it is considerably lower than other places that we got proposals from. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone had seen those emails from Rob about that situation.
For residents, you can go online and request service, and that's how they're going to judge whether or not they expand into different areas, is by how many people request it.
The other thing is they were just bought out. So MetroNet was bought out by T-Mobile. So, yes. So that is something we should look at, because it is. But down the line, will maybe T-Mobile help change some of this for us?
Yeah. One thing I will say is, this is on topic, but it spreads to everything. We do not want to be in a position ever with any item to where we have to do it, to where we have no choice in the matter, and the world can see that. I go back to what Randy Hurt, one of his concerns were about just finding out about information the day of. We want to get better. I don't know if I'm talking to us or staff or all of us, but we need to get better in that regard. We don't want to be put in a position to where we have to do anything. That undermines everybody up here. That's all I have.
Well, we're not in the position where we have to do something. We can approve the contract with Google Phone tonight, as opposed to MetroNet. We got other bids other than MetroNet. MetroNet is simply the cheapest, and the cheapest bid is not always the responsible or best bid. Take it from me. The reality, the truth is, yes, MetroNet will say that their investment decisions with respect to laying infrastructure is governed by customer interest, but that's not the case in our neighboring communities. That's not the case in Moline. Moline negotiated with them and said, no, you need to run infrastructure throughout this entire city so that all residents are eligible. We, several years ago, prioritized expediency. I remember, I was up here. This was when fiber internet was rolling out across the Quad Cities, and we said we want to be the first community in the Illinois Quad Cities with fiber internet connectivity for our residents. So we prioritized getting the deal with MetroNet done quicker than our neighbors so that fiber internet came to Rock Island first, trying to promote Rock Island as being a fiber community, right? The trade-off was that in order to get that expediency, we didn't negotiate the entire city. Our neighbor, Moline, took the opposite track, where they said, we don't care if we're not the first community that has fiber internet. We want to make sure that the entire community is covered. It's just a matter of what your priorities are. I'm not going to make a value judgment as to who made the right decision or who made the wrong decision. However, here we are tonight. We need to reopen our agreement with MetroNet to get the same treatment that Moline residents get. We lose our leverage, whatever leverage we have with MetroNet, by approving this contract. Now, this is a $57,000 contract. That's a drop in the bucket for T-Mobile's revenue. So I'm not entirely sure how much leverage we really have in trying to use this contract with City Hall to force MetroNet to agree to laying infrastructure throughout the entire city so everybody has access. But it's the leverage that we've got. And I am more comfortable tonight, seeing as how we have to choose a phone provider, with going with the second low bidder to tell MetroNet that you need to come back and renegotiate with the city. And maybe in 5 years, when our agreement with Google Phone, if we approve them tonight, expires, maybe we'll go back to using MetroNet for our phone service, but not until we have an agreement from them that they will cover the entire city. That is what I am proposing. I respect everyone else's opinion, but that's how I see it tonight.
I feel if you don't approve this with Metro, this gives you leverage with MetroNet. We are giving you business. We expect to have, we want to reopen the contract. I think if you go ahead and deny this and go with Google, we were just having a big conversation about bids. We can go ahead and reorganize our bids to give favoritism to our friends and neighbors, but that's not the way to do it. But I do think if we deny this, then you can forget about an agreement with MetroNet. Because if I were MetroNet, I would say, sorry, Rock Island, I'm not interested in talking to you. You go ahead and talk to Google and see what they'll give for you. So I think that, if you want to play a game of chess, you can go ahead and play a game of chess. But in the meantime, let's make sure that our city services, that we have phones, and that we have phones for a cost that we can afford, instead of this game that we always play with bids and friends and all that stuff. So my motion stands, and I will not amend or withdraw it.
I think you can open you up to a challenge as well. You're not gonna award something to the low bidder when the difference is 60 grand based on what? I can certainly communicate to MetroNet the displayer of the council, the fact that it became an issue.
I do think you should. It was a huge failure from the get-go on this, especially, I would say, probably Ward 1 was affected the most, and it shouldn't be about who signs up. You should make those services available, and if they have, like Alderman Parker said, Moline set it up where if you want it, fine, it's there. It shouldn't be really about numbers, because numbers are only a moment in time, so.
I do agree with Alderman Parker. Early in the game, when they were rolling this out, I'm sure they're being much more cautious about overcommitting to install an infrastructure. So when Moline comes around later, they're probably in a much better position to commit to the whole city.
Is there any more discussion? Does everyone know where we are?
It's the motion to waive the RFP process and to authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Everyone know where we are? Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
No.
Clueless. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
Swanson.
Agenda item 13.
Budget adjustments A through C.
Motion to approve budget adjustments A through C.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Clueless. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Agenda item 14.
Report from the Human Resources Department regarding the reclassification of the building official.
Move to approve the salary grade recommendation.
First and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Clueless. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Agenda item 15A.
Report from the Clerk's Department regarding a request from the Rock Island Grand Prix to hold their 31st annual go-kart street race on Saturday, September 5th, 2026 through Sunday, September 6th, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day.
Move to approve the event.
I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
It's my understanding that the city, in partnership with the Grand Prix and the Rock Island Downtown Alliance, is in combination with this event, bringing in events professional to appraise the event and not only this event, but give us feedback. I know there's been interest from the public and members of the council on events programming for the city of Rock Island, downtown Rock Island. A lot of people contact me talking about Gumbo Yaya and you're making my weekend. Can I get confirmation that that will be part of this event this year? I don't want to approve this event without some confirmation that a professional is going to be included to talk about events programming and this event, how do we expand it and improve it moving forward?
There's been discussion of that, but no commitment, so I would hate to say, promise you that was gonna occur, but that's certainly, the intent to bring something back in that regard later.
I recall that wasn't it, I mean, for the most part, wasn't it a business owner or business owners that usually always ran Gumbo Yaya, and we just kind of kicked some money in, and if I recall, that's kind of how it was. Basically, the Daiquiri Factory and Ribco were the ones that kind of hosted all that between Kyle and Terry. Am I accurate on that, Dylan?
Are you talking about the Grand Prix or events like Gumbo Yaya and Make 'em a Weekend?
Events like Gumbo Yaya that you were bringing up that you'd like to see.
Well, let me be clear. I don't want to see you Gumbo Yaya and you making my weekend come back. It is not 1993 anymore. I'm sorry to report
I
to
do.
everybody, but, you know, it's
Okay.
2026.
I do.
Let's be contemporary, right? And that's sort of the point of bringing in a professional who understands events, right? And what are events, what are municipalities doing about events in 2026? To answer your specific question, yes, historically, those events were ran by private individuals like the owner of Daiquiri Factory, or if you go far enough back, the district 501c6 organization, which no longer exists. And yes, historically, the city chipped in several tens of thousands of dollars into getting those events organized. Again, the reason that I want an events professional to come in here is that we're not, to making sure that if we do contribute to an event, we're getting, we're doing it in the best way possible, right? So there's a reason that the District 501c6 organization no longer exists. It's because that model was very vulnerable to things like the weather. And they spent a lot of money putting up an event, and one thunderstorm that weekend destroyed the finances, so much so that the organization dissolved and their debts was taken up by Dari. That happened a number of years ago when the 501c6 organization went away. So, again, the point that I'm making here tonight is that we need some professional guidance on what is the best way to do events programming in the city of Rock Island. There's obviously an appetite for it, but the way that we did it before may not be the best way to do it, and it may not be contemporary to to what people want with respect to events moving forward. Specific to this item, I just want to make sure, because this event continues to be a subject of conversation for the council, for the downtown community. It is a welcomed addition to our community, and we appreciate the longstanding partnership that we've had with the Grand Prix, but there's also a desire to expand and improve the situation. So I just want to make sure that we're not kicking the can, that we're going to bring in somebody with some experience, some insight, what are other communities doing, to give us some feedback on how we can improve moving forward.
Yeah, that's certainly the intent, and, details to be worked out later, but the commitment to make it a significant effort to assess the way it operates, bring in all the stakeholders to make improvements, certainly true.
I got a statement. I've talked to some of the businesses that are captured in the Grand Prix. When you tell me that there's concerns about people tailgating or cooking, some of those businesses, that's a way that they make money. And when you're telling me that there are people coming in and actually cooking on the facilities or on the grounds, that's taking away from those businesses too. And so I want to make sure that that's understood when we're talking about this Grand Prix being down there, closing off most of those businesses for that length of time.
That's the very tension that I'm describing, and I know that representatives from the Grand Prix have worked hard at trying to partner with the downtown business community, give them opportunities. It's tension. It exists, and again, that's why I think we need a third party to come in. We've been trying to figure this out for a long time. We need a neutral third party to come in and say, okay, this is the best way to address it.
I would like to say that I've heard concerns with downtown businesses as well. And last summer when I heard those concerns, a portion of it was due to the downtown construction. That's where their frustrations had come from. And when we look at the city of Rock Island, for the record, I am in full support of the Grand Prix, of that event. I think just the capability of a city that can transform into a racetrack is magnificent. And for the businesses who that does affect for that weekend, that is just the cost of doing business in beautiful downtown Rock Island. When you I'll say it like this: when you look at New York City, when you look at the Labor Day Parade or the Macy Parade, that whole area is shut down, and none of those businesses would ever complain because, like I said, it's seasonal and it's a great event. So I think that event will be actually good for the downtown businesses. We don't have a construction zone anymore, so from that, businesses can actually grow instead of being hindered. That's just my opinion. We put a face to the organization. They have been, in conversation with the businesses. They look like willing partners. They want to continue to be in Rock Island to expand this. So, we welcome all avenues to address any issues, and I'm speaking to you guys directly. So, thank you for, like I said, allowing us an opportunity to even have this. I want to thank you for that. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderperson Parker.
Aye.
Pulis. Healy.
Aye.
Evans.
Yes.
Hurt.
Aye.
And Swanson.
Aye.
Okay, agenda item 16, Port Authority. We pulled that. Yeah, we pulled that.
Motion to close the regular city council meeting, convene the Rock Island Regional Port District
Second.
meeting.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to remind the elected officials that the port plan will conclude later on this spring. The plan is already proving useful, helping staff realize the significance and the uniqueness of the transportation system within the city of Rock Island. Quad Cities lacks industrial rail-served sites. Therefore, staff has been focusing on site development along the Iowa Interstate rail lines. We know we threw a lot at you last weekend. Please never hesitate to ask Miles or me any questions.
Thank you. Is that all we got? Anything else? All right.
Motion to exit the Rock Island Regional Port Authority and reconvene the regular city council meeting.
First and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda item 17. Does anyone have any new business to discuss?
I do. I've had several calls in my ward regarding trees. And I talked with Public Works, and they're going to put something together for one of the upcoming meetings to talk about trees, leaf bags, and all of that. But I do want to remind residents that when it comes to trees, the city owns some trees in the right-of-way, and the city uses city funds and your tax dollars to maintain those trees. We take care of the trees, we remove dead and deceased trees. Those are our trees, we own them. Trees that are on your property are residential trees. They are your responsibility to maintain, to trim. If they're dead, it is your responsibility to remove them. It is not the city's responsibility to remove trees on residential property. So I told a couple of my residents that I would bring this up. So if you own the tree, it is your responsibility to take care of it. If the city owns the tree, it's the city's responsibility to take care of it. So hopefully in one of the next couple meetings, as the weather's getting nicer, I know people are out in their yard doing things, but tree ownership seems to be a big issue in Ward 4 right now. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything? Okay. Agenda item 18.
Closed session, 5 ILCS 120-2C5, the purchase of lease or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. And 5 ILCS 120-2C11, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?